welcome to Fly with Liz. If you are a soon-to-be flight attendant going out to get your CJO, you have come to the right place. We are going to go over questions that you have about becoming a flight attendant, things that I have seen people comment on some of the videos I have posted. We're just going to go over a lot of different things, frequently asked questions today. So stick with me. If you stick with me to the end of the video, I have a special bonus for you. I am going to pull one random star question out and answer it, show you how I answer it, go over the star method really quick with you just to give you an example. So stay with me to the end of the video, but let's get into these questions you guys have been posting under the comments of the videos and things that are on your mind. I do have my notes here. I am going to look at them so that I don't forget any of them, but here we go. So the first one I got is, tell me, and this is super common, especially in interviews, sometimes video interviews, one-on-one interviews, tell me about yourself. It's usually an opening question that you will get, and it's so broad and so generic and like so basic, but yet so heavy. That question can be heavy if you don't know how to answer it. Let's just say that. So what are they looking for? Tell me about yourself. Well, you can tell them there's so many things, right? You have lived so long. But what are they really, really asking for this question? So let's narrow it down so that you can summarize your answer. You want to give them an elevator pitch so that they know you can communicate clearly, effectively, and put everything they need to know in this nice little round ball for them. It will definitely start off the interview smoothly. It will build your confidence if you create yourself a little elevator pitch and know where you want to go with this answer. So the question is, tell me about yourself. Oh my gosh. So I got this question, and I'll put the links right here to, not the links, but I will put the people's screen names who posted this and asked me this question. What do I answer to? Tell me about yourself. So what they are looking for in this question is they are looking for a summary. How did you get to the point where you are having an interview to be a flight attendant? What is in you that you want to be a flight attendant? What job experiences have you had? Do you have customer service experience? So they want to know a lot, but in a very short time frame, very short span. So like 2-3 minutes. They want you to summarize pretty much all of your work experience and how did you get to that point. So what you want to do is you want to quickly summarize your work history, pointing out some of the major things that you have had, whether customer service experience or safety experience. Those two are huge in the airline industry. So if you had them, just mention that you had those in certain jobs. So they want you to summarize your work experience. They want to hear your personality, so let your personality shine through. Always smile. If it's a phone interview, they can hear it. If they're looking at you face to face, they can see you. So get excited about this question. And also tell them how you ended up there. Why do you want to be a flight attendant? Where did this dream come from? For almost all of us, or everybody I've talked to and seen, it is a dream. It's such a cool job. And so you want them to know that you are passionate about it and you want it. So make sure that comes clear. If you had a dream when you were a kid, you wanted to be a flight attendant, tell them. Personally, I did. I had a dream when I was a kid. I wanted to be a flight attendant. Flying was so, so cool. And as a side note, my very first, this is like totally a side note, my very first airplane ride, we had regular cameras. Remember, not all these fancy digital cameras where you get 12,000 takes and can delete stuff. My very, very first plane ride, you had a real camera that had 24 pictures on it. If you remember, if you're as old as me, and I hate to date myself, but it's true, an actual camera that you had to go get developed and had the negatives. And I was so excited to be on the plane that I took so many pictures of the clouds, and when I got them developed, it was all white. You couldn't see the clouds because there was no you couldn't see the density in it. I guess density, I don't know if that's the right word. But anyway, okay, back to your questions. Sorry, I just wanted to that popped into my head, so I figured I'd share. But being on a plane was so exciting, and that's what I wanted to do when I was a kid. And then life happened for me personally, and I had kids, and I had a family, and I moved, and different things happened, and that dream, even though it was there, kind of got pushed aside for a long time until couple years ago, I had an instance where it popped back up again, and I was like, that is what I want to do. That passion came alive again in me. So that's what I shared, and you have your own story, so share your own story with them. But you want to put all of that, your past, your work experience, and why you want to be a flight attendant in tell me about yourself. That's what you want to focus on in that question. Probably, like I said, usually like 2 or 3 minutes. It doesn't have to be really long and drawn out, but you don't want it to be too short that you're forgetting to tell them the main things that would make you stand out above everybody else, especially because that's usually the first question they ask. All right, so on to the next question people ask. Am I too old to apply to be a flight attendant? I did get this question a couple times in the comment section, and the answer to this is no. The airline industry is such a weird industry now that I'm involved in it. It's a little different than all other industries, and they really appreciate experience. They really appreciate customer service. There is not an age where you are too old. I have seen on posts, I have seen on blogs, I have seen people commenting about other people in their flight attendant training classes now that are in their 60s and young 70s starting out this career. So are you too old to apply? Absolutely not. This is the best thing that I ever heard. If you can pass the training classes and you're physically fit to do the job, like walking around and standing and doing all the emergency stuff that they teach you in training. So if you can accomplish all of that and pass your training, age is not a factor. So don't use that as an excuse. Get that out of your head, totally out of your head. Put that aside. And also, as a side note, you would be surprised. I was surprised. Maybe you won't be surprised. I was surprised when I started going to interviews for the airlines. I thought that most people would be in their 20s, like early 20s. That's what I expected, and I expected to be one of the oldest people there. And I was actually surprised that a lot of people were this is a new career for them, but they were older. They were in their 30s, they were in their 40s, they were in their 50s. So yes, there was people in their 20s, but it wasn't like 95% like I had expected. It varied, ages completely varied. So do not let your age stop you, but I would suggest applying right away, because if it's in your head and it is a long process to get hired, I mean, it's quicker right this minute. We're in a very interesting time point after COVID in the airline industry, so it seems to be a little quicker, even though the process for the airlines is a lot of steps. So if you're thinking about it and watching this video, open up your computer and start applying tonight. Get that resume written and start applying, start the process. You are not too old. All right, on to the next question. If I went home first from the interview, the airline that I was at divided us into groups, and I was in the first group or the second group that got sent home, does that mean I did not get a CJO? Okay. Take a big breath. I am not going to tell you if that's a yes or no. Every airline does something different, and they are changing things up because people are, even though you're not supposed to post stuff online that gives details, some people do post that stuff online. So you can search for it. You might find answers. I am not going to tell you you were sent home first, you did not get it. Like, I have heard of people that were sent home first that did get phone calls later and get the CJO. So there is a chance what I will say is until you get that TNBT, thanks but no thanks email in your email box that says they are moving on without you and they wish you the best, they're glad you applied, blah, 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 but they are not going to move forward with you. Until you get that email, you still have hope. If you did get sent home first, most likely you might not have gotten it, But do not get discouraged. One, move on to other airlines. That should incentivize you to get started applying to new airlines. Find out when you can reapply. If that's your dream airline, can you reapply in 3 months? Can you reapply in 6 months? Note that, make a note of that, because that is your next goal. You are going to reapply to that airline. There are people that have applied to airlines 8 times before they even get a face-to-face. So if that is your dream, getting a no the first time, getting a no the second time, getting a no the third time, do not let that stop you, because I have heard of people that have applied and applied and applied, and then they actually do get it. It is, like I said, the airline industry is its own little interesting thing. So stick with your dream and keep applying. There is a chance that you will get that TNBT in your email after your face-to-face if you did get sent home right away. But do not give up hope until it shows up in your email. All right, what's the next question? Dress and hair. What should you wear? And I am not totally going to go into details. I will do another video probably on this, because this seems to be a huge question, but I'm not going to go into it right now as far as like what exactly you should wear. But I did get questions. What should I wear? And I'm going to just summarize this, and I will do, if you want me to do another video on this in more detail, in the comments below, go ahead and put a little, I think there's an emoji. I'm not looking at my phone right now. I know there's a dress emoji, and maybe for guys there's like a little suit emoji. So if you're watching this and you do want me to do a detailed video on that, put those in the comments, or put like a hair emoji in the comments. So I will do another video on more detail, but there's so much to talk about there. What I would say as far as this question goes, and the way I answered the questions, be confident. You don't want to wear something that is so out of the norm for you that you don't actually feel comfortable in your own skin. Like, you want to feel what outfit you put on, the way you do your hair. You walk into that room and you feel like $1,000,000 before you even talk to somebody. So go ahead and obviously be professional, right? Look good. I mean, the basics, you have to do the basics, right? You don't want to wear something skimpy, really low cut tops. For men, you don't want to go in a t-shirt. Like, I mean, use your common sense, okay? But again, when you're looking at your outfit and you know it's those things, you know it's professional, you know your hair is going to look good, whether you wear it up, whether you wear it down, whether you wear it this way, that way. When you're deciding between a couple things, what are you most confident in? Because I can tell you, if you're feeling confident, that is going to go out, that energy will go out, and the interviewers will feel it, and it will give you a better chance to get that CJO. So that is what I always push towards. Wear what you are going to feel the most confident with. Comfortable, but confident with. Comfortable, I'd wear pajamas if I had to, and sweats. So that, don't go comfortable. Wear what you're going to professional and confident in. All right, another question is bags. When I go to the face-to-face interview, if I come in the night before, what do I do with my bags that day? So every airline knows people are coming in. A lot of them are traveling. You won't be the only one. Most people are traveling there. Most people will have bags there. You can do 2 things. One, if you come in the night before and you stay at a hotel, you can ask the hotel to keep your bags behind the desk, and then go back to the hotel after the interview to get your bags, then probably to go back to the airport. That is one option if you don't even feel like dealing with them. But what I suggest is just bring them with you. They have a spot for you. You're not going to stand out if you bring bags. I would say at least 80% of the people usually have their carry-on with them and another bag with them, and they have a closet for you to put them in, or a place for you to put your bags. So go ahead and do that. Bring your bags with you. Quick question that you might be thinking, should I come in the night before or the day of? And I'll just touch on this really quick. Totally up to you. If you live close and if you live close or it's a really short plane flight, you can come in the morning before. No big deal. Just make sure there's enough time so that if there's any delays, you get to the interview in plenty of time. Remember, you want to be early when you're a flight attendant. You want to be super early. I cannot stress that enough. So if you can come in the morning and it's like a 1 or 2 hour flight, that makes sense. But if you're coming, like I had to go cross country for some of mine, and I came in the day before so I could relax and really regroup and get myself together. So in the morning time when I was going for that interview, I was not worried about delays. I was not worried about anything. All I had to do was focus on what I prepared for so that I could present really well in the interview. So my suggestion is, if you can come in the night before and money is not an option, just get that hotel room and enjoy being in a hotel room and get in that mindset that you are going to be a flight attendant and you are going to get that CJO. I would say come in the night before. Plus, it's always fun to get away, so it kind of gives you an excuse to get away. All right, let's see what else. Passport. If you don't have your passport, I'll touch on this real quick. If you don't have your passport yet, go apply. Do that this week. Get it out of the way. That way, that's in the process. I know there's delays sometimes. You can expedite it. So there's a couple different things with passports, but I would say if you don't have one, or if yours is going to expire soon, just take care of that. Get that out of the way so it's one less thing you actually have to think about. Follow up. I did get this question. They were told they were going to hear back in 3 to 7 days. I think it was, if I remember correctly, in the comment section, somebody said it was after the virtual interview that they were told they were going to hear back in 7 days, and they had not gotten a response back as far as whether they were moving on, whether they were getting that TNBT. So what I would say at that point is, if they said that you were going to hear back in 7 days and you haven't heard back, or whatever time frame they said they were going to get back to you, and you have not heard back, 1, check your spam and junk mail. Sometimes things go there. So just double check. Takes 2 seconds. Something we don't even think about, but it's way easier to check that than take the next step if you don't have to, if there's an email waiting for you. So check your junk or spam mail. Once you do that, if it's not there and it has been that time frame has gone past what they said they were going to get back to you at, it is okay to reach out to them, email them, let them know when you were on that virtual interview or when you were on that phone call interview or what the deals was and you were waiting to hear back. That is okay. That's actually following up, and it shows that you're professional and it shows your interest. So as long as you send a polite email and just you're asking, there is nothing wrong with that, instead of actually just sitting there waiting and not knowing what's going on. So if you haven't done so already, I haven't said it, but please subscribe to my channel. I am going to start pushing out more of these videos. So please subscribe down below to my channel. Share it with people in Facebook groups. Share my link, Fly with Liz. If you're in a Facebook group, share my YouTube videos. That would be amazing if you can. Or just put my handle if you're not allowed to share Facebook groups, because I know some Facebook groups and some groups you're not allowed to do that. But if you think this would help somebody, please share it. So go ahead and subscribe below. And again, it takes you 2 seconds. It does not really do anything for you, but it does so much for me if you give me a like on this video, because YouTube loves that for algorithms, and then I show up more places. So again, thank you so much. I'm trying to build this channel. All right, let's see if I have any more questions. I'm just going to look at my notes here, open up my computer. Bear with me for 1 second. All right, let's see what other questions I have. These questions weren't in the comments, but they are frequently asked questions, so I just wanted to go over. Is everyone's timeline the same when you apply to an airline? The answer to that is a big fat no. Absolutely not. Everyone's timeline will be so different, even if you sit next to somebody and apply at the same time. Your timeline through that your timeline will be different. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. Your timeline will be different than the person sitting next to you that applies at the same time. For online assessments, for virtual assessments, for phone calls, for interviews, everything will be different. Don't judge yourself against somebody else's timeline. So just know that you are on your own time, you are on your journey, things will happen the way they're going to happen. Believe me, and I know I'm sure you've heard this before, but if people say, it happens the way it's supposed to happen. It happens the way it's supposed to happen. I know. There's nothing else I can say about that. And when somebody tells me that, it just is like, well, that's not what I want to hear. But the truth is, it will happen the way it's supposed to happen. So trust the process. Do what you can. Here's a tip for you. When you get emails that the airline needs you to do something, whether that is doing an online assessment or scheduling a virtual interview or scheduling flights if they're sending you there and you need to actually do that, please do that right away. Your delay will cause your timeline to get longer. A lot of airlines do things in first come, first serve. So if they're reviewing stuff or you're in the line, it's going to get longer and stretch out your timeline. So whenever you get those emails, make it a priority, get it done within the next couple hours, if you can, if it's possible. All right. Let's see. Let me get one more good question for you. And then, like I said, the bonus, I'm going to do a star question for you for an interview. So let me do one more question here. Okay, do airlines fly you to the face-to-face interviews? So most, I'm not going to say all of them because it's not all of them, most of the legacy airlines do fly you to, if you do get the face-to-face interview, most of the legacy airlines will fly you out there. Regional, I think it does vary. They do not, whether it's regional or a legacy carrier, they do not pay for your hotel. If you stay at the hotel the night before, they will not pay for your food. They only transport you to that interview. So keep that in mind when you are planning stuff. And thank you for staying to this part of the video. Let's go. Let me pick a star question here for the bonus. And if you want to comment below, I love to hear people's comments. I am super excited. Okay, I got a star question up. I am super excited that I'm seeing people having all these interviews and following up and seeing that they got it, and it's so cool. If you read the comments below in some of these videos, it's so awesome to see people's excitement, and I love, like I said, I love to hear your journey. So please comment below. You can also, I'm going to start building up my Instagram more. I have not done that to this point, but Fly with Liz, I'll put a link here, but I do need to build that up soon. And all right, here's the star question. So remember, if you're asked a star question, airlines love star questions. It's stars for situation, task, action, and result. That's what they're looking for, those 4 things. It helps summarize your answer, even though, and let me tell you this, I was a little overwhelmed personally when I heard, oh my gosh, they want me to answer in star format, and oh my gosh, what does that mean? But once you get it, once you really understand what it means, it makes answering these questions so easy, and it should skyrocket your confidence because it really gives you the process. You're not rambling, you're not just talking about anything and not coming back to the question. It really summarizes your answer to these questions, and it should boost your confidence once you understand the method, the STAR method, once you understand that for answering interview questions, and it really should do that, and it should make it easier for you. So STAR question is, let's see. Give me an example of a situation when you showed initiative and took charge of a situation. Okay, so that's going to be our bonus star question for today for interviewing. Give me a situation when you showed initiative and took charge of a situation. Okay, so I'm going to use, all right, let's start. Situation. The situation was I was working at a restaurant, and I would give more detail. So in Los Angeles, it was blah, 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 blah. So I would elaborate the restaurant a little bit. I was working as a server, tell them my position. That's it. 2, 3 sentences, 4 sentences, where you were, situation, what you were doing, what was your position, okay? So I was working at a restaurant, I was a server, located, I was in Los Angeles, maybe one or two more sentences about details that might be important. Okay, task. My task was always to collect the final bill, right? They pay, they leave it in that little booklet. I have to get that for the end of the night, so my task was to collect the bill. So when I collected the bill and the customers had already left, I found their credit card in that little booklet. That's out of the normal, right? You're supposed to take your credit card with you. So that was the task, was that the guests needed their credit card back. I had their credit card with me. Okay, so the action I took was, I knew that most of our guests actually walk, blah, blah. Park, I'm looking for the word park at the parking lot behind our restaurant in the structure. So the action I took was to make sure, notify my other servers around me for teamwork, so that they could watch the tables that I had going on. If anyone needed something, I told them right away. So my guests were taken care of. And then I actually went to that parking garage to see if I could see them and give them back their credit card. The other thing, another action I could have taken, is if their phone number was on file, I could have gone to the host stand and called them before they left and tried to get them so that they could come back in the building and give them their credit card. So that's the action I took. And then result would be, were they able to get their credit card back? And were they satisfied? Were they happy? Did it make their night happy versus, feeling like they lost their credit card? So really, really simple. Of course they were happy. They got their credit card back. They were headed to, go shopping, and they needed their credit card. So instead of them having to get there and find out they don't have their credit card and coming back to our restaurant, the action I took helped that process, right? So that is your bonus star question / example for you, and how you would use that in an interview. When you're answering a star question, again, most likely your answer is going to be like, I would think 3 to 5 minutes at the most. It should be relatively short if you follow that process, because it's a great way to summarize your answer and answer their question at the same time. So that is that. Again, thank you for watching. Comment below. I love you guys so much for building up my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to keep doing videos for you. If you have a video specifically that you want to do, go ahead and put that in the comments. I read the comments. I will comment back to you. And thank you. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a great day. Bye.